Good morning, everybody. It's a mountain debrief. How do you like my style here? The kind of high neck first layer and then the fleece with, sorry. Not looking my best here this morning. I'm on my way back out to RUSUTSU. I was in RUSUTSU yesterday. Had a bit of a photo shoot going on. I did not get up on the mountain too much, but I had a look around and I thought I would give you my debrief. So we had this big storm roll in on Monday and then Tuesday, which was yesterday. Today it is Wednesday, and the weather report was predicting, chaos, man, like huge snow. We're gonna get more snow than the last storm, and the last storm was already huge. So this is gonna be huger. And it didn't happen, man. It just disappeared. I said it on my weather report this morning. I'm gonna call this storm Empty Promises. That's what we're gonna name this one, man. It just did not come through with what was promised. So there was a bit of wind. There's been quite a bit of wind. 2 days ago, Sapporo Kokusai was closed for the whole day. Yesterday was very windy, but they were able to stay open. RUSUTSU Isola Mountain was closed yesterday due to the winds. So the rest of the mountain apparently was very crowded. RUSUTSU is a big mountain, so when everything's open and running, everybody spreads out and it's great. It's not really a problem. There'll be some lines in the morning to get on that first gondola or the quad over at East Mountain. After everybody spreads out, it's not really much of an issue. But when they close, some of the main areas, it can get really crowded really quick. And I don't know what's going on, but I heard that there's these conferences going on at RUSUTSU, bringing in large groups from Australia. So I think that is definitely a large percentage of the people we're seeing there right now. But yesterday, as I walked around at lunchtime was super busy because the mountain was kind of crappy. The conditions were not that good. Half the mountain was closed. So when that happens, a lot of people will come inside early and they'll be like, let's just go get lunch, man. Let's have some beers, whatever. And the clientele, the Western people, there's a real mix of tourists from Asian countries and tourists from America, North America, Australia, New Zealand. It's kind of hard to tell unless you listen and catch the accent when people are talking. Just by looking, you can't really tell where they're from. The same, Asian tourists, because I've been here a long time, I can kind of get and I can hear Korean, I can hear like Malaysia and Singapore. I can kind of grasp where people are from pretty quickly. There is a good mix, but I really felt yesterday there seemed to be a lot of kind of hardcore, especially skiers. People really had all the gear. They got the backpacks, they got touring skis. They know what they're doing. These are not your average family ski and snowboarders. These were people who spend a lot of time in the mountains, and that's pretty easy to see. Obviously, the people with the rental gear don't spend a lot of time in the mountains. They don't have their own gear. So when you see not huge, but a lot of people and a lot of groups with a lot of really expensive, gear, something's going on. So I don't know if it's just that time of year or if there's some, ski associations put together some tours or what's going on, but it felt like there were a lot of those people. So that is kind of what was happening at RUSUTSU. A little disappointment with the latest storm. Not a lot, it kind of, bumpy, choppy, crowded. Yeah, not the best. What can you do? Today, it did not snow much overnight, so it's going to be more of the same. The groom runs are going to be beautiful. The temperature is still good. Right now, this morning, it's -6 degrees here. up on the higher mountain, it's going to be a little colder. So the quality of the snow is really nice. And the groom runs at RUSUTSU, they always do such an amazing job grooming that mountain. It's pristine. So that's good. But it would be great to get another really good storm cycle to come through. Now, what's happening with this storm, just real quick to wrap things up, we get basically two types of storms here in Hokkaido. You get the Siberian cold fronts that come in from the northwest, and they bring westerly or northwesterly winds, which creates really cold temperatures. And when those, they pick up a lot of moisture coming across the Japan Sea, cold air from Siberia, warm sea, suck up moisture, hit mountains, drop snow. That's how it works. The storm cycle that we're in right now for the last 2 days is what's called the Nangan Teikyatsu, Japanese. I don't know what we'd call it in English. It basically comes in from the south. It comes in from like Korea, North Korea, coming across there, kind of comes below Hokkaido. The storm, the center of the storm will usually go right through the Tsugaru Strait, which is the body of water between Hokkaido and the main island, Aomori. Again, kind of lukewarm air coming across, sucking up a lot of moisture, Japan Sea, the strait, but the winds are kind of weird. It kind of moves through and then it pushes these winds back from the southwest, and that's what we've had the last 2 days. Sometimes it can create a huge amount of snow because the temperature is a little higher. It hits the mountains, we get a lot of precipitation, we get a heavier, wetter snow, which really accumulates. We tend to see these storm cycles in the spring, March and April. March and April, we get a lot of these warmer storm cycles. This one, obviously, again, El Nino. It's all they talk about. So, not to be unexpected, but it does feel a little early for one of these type of storms. Usually, all through January, they're all coming from Siberia. This time we got one coming through from the south. So it brought in the warm air. This one did not really create the snowfall that was predicted. Now, after that center of that storm moves through, we get the southwesterly winds. After it moves off, what happens is it's like a typhoon or hurricane, that the wind direction then flips around as it moves off. These winds start moving, and suddenly they come from the north. And the next week, maybe another day or two, temperatures are predicted to drop. The winds flip around to the north and the west again, and we are back into our winter storm cycle. So that's how you get these kind of warming and then cooling cycles, right? Wow, I kind of explained that rather nicely, I think. Okay. So, ending on a positive note, looking ahead, if you are planning your trip to Japan or you're coming over soon, I think you're going to be in for a treat as we get back to some cooler temperatures. As always, be careful out there. A lot of people I see with backcountry gear and touring equipment, because of this El Nino, and because of these sort of up and down temperatures. Hokkaido has done better. We have not had any crazy rain event, etc. But I would still be very cautious of the snowpack this year. Extra cautious. Don't just jump out there. In main island Japan, Hakuba area and other Niigata, etc., you have to be extremely cautious. I was told yesterday that this year everybody's so hungry for snow that when it does snow, like they get a big dump, everybody just rushes out there, and they're seeing a lot of powder fever, and there have been accidents, deaths, people getting lost in the mountains, more than normal. There's an increase in accidents due to the bad snowpack and the powder fever. So please be very careful. And they've been having some serious rain events at high elevations on the main island over the last couple of days. So please keep that in mind when you head out into the mountains. All right, everybody, that's my mountain debrief. I'll be back with another one shortly.